morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. We are off on another wildcat adventure. We are in the middle of nowhere, Missouri, and we are headed over to Trenton, Missouri to take out more seed processing equipment. We're on site, and there must have been some kind of miscommunication because we are locked out, but we are going to go ahead and get started. We have to pull this ducting down. We've got to remove this small high efficiency cyclone, and then there's a couple of fans we can tackle. Good morning, everyone. It is day 2 here in Trenton, Missouri. It was kind of a busy day yesterday. We had a couple of dust systems to take out. They were just kind of easy peasy, nothing to write home about. And we had several different people to call and work with. So didn't do any filming yesterday. Probably gonna have to go up to the tippity top and investigate dropping the bucket elevator belts out of these universal legs, which is always a fun job. Taking off these covers on the C3 universal leg goes all the way through the roof, and I said I would document something exciting. It's exciting for me. Pop the cover off, and right there is the belt splice. That is like 1 in 30 legs you will get that lucky. So that is awesome that is right there. So now I do not have to go all the way up to the top and roll the belt while Luke sits here and watches a belt trickle past. We're gonna pull the belt out of this leg now. That's how you do it. Big old black mamba, we call them. Pro tip, put your pallet in the middle of the belt, drag it out straight, roll up the bottom half, throw it on the pallet, then roll up the top half, toss it up on top. Just like that, you have a very, very nicely coiled belt. Rinse and repeat 4 more times. Got 2 over there, and then a big boy over in the corner. So we'll check back in a little later. Up on the tippity top here, I am dismantling downspouting, and Luke is pulling the belt out of unit 1. That's how it's done right there. I'm gonna drop just these little nuggets of downspouting, disconnect stuff that I can, and then I'll head right back down the mezzanine to the safe spot, and we'll continue to just prep these legs. We've already got a crane on schedule. Belt's already out of this one. We've got 2 taller ones here and a ton of downspouting to remove. As you can see, it's just going everywhere. They were feeding this, recirculating. We've got cables and valves and just stuff going everywhere, as is standard when you're working up high like this. Always work safe, work smart, and slow is smooth and smooth is fast. This unit has a backstop in it, so it will only go one way, which sucks if the splice is right past where you need to go, but it is what it is. The other thing you want to be careful of with this, you have to spin this by hand. You do not want your fingers going over like that because you get stuck. So you're always pinching and pulling from the bottom, just like so. And then you literally just stand here and do this until your ground guy finds the splice. One thing that's handy is a tightened up drill chuck in here, and it spins and you actually get some speed, but I didn't bring it along this time. So welcome to the suck. This leg is stuck down in a pit, and they put the inspection port on that side of the leg. And so we have to turn the entire reducer in reverse because there's a backstop in here that I don't want to try to fish out of this cover. So to do that, we're going to hook a vice grip on here to keep it from rotating, and then we will spin the entire reducer in reverse so that we can pull the belt out backwards. Normally, well, I won't say normally, but sometimes these do not have a backstop in them, and then you could just spin this, and I wouldn't have had to take off the belt guard and the turnbuckle torque arm right there. So is what it is. Just hurry up and wait for Luke's signal, and we'll get this belt pulled out. One word of warning, there is a funny story now looking back, but scary at the time that it happened. There was a millwright crew working for us and we were at a soybean processing facility in, I believe, northern Illinois, and they were at the top of a 100-foot, 5,000 bushel per hour leg, which means that gearbox is about 5 times the size of that. And they assumed, you can never assume anything when you're doing work like this, the soybean plant just closed the doors, shut down, closed the doors, and they were done. And so the entire back trunk of the leg had soybeans pulled all the way up to the top of the head. And the millwrights, assuming the leg was empty, cut the turnbuckle with a torch, and all the stored energy on the backside of the belt made a 500-pound gearbox start doing this. And they were holding on to the crow's nest for dear life while the entire leg was going because imagine a 500-pound off-center eccentric 100 feet in the air. That was kind of wild. Anyway, continue to hurry up and wait. Rinse and repeat on this C6 and then that D3 over there. The bird's eye view of Trenton, Missouri. And some vertigo. There we go. That car looks mighty tiny. Nothing to it but to do it. Let's get started. Don't know if you guys will see this or not, but there's a freaking hornet's nest up here. I don't know what is going on that I keep finding them. I think they're in the back of that motor, and they are not too thrilled with me right now. And I don't really want to get down because that's just going to tick them off more. So I'm just kind of hanging tough and saying some prayers for sure. Really do not want to be fighting them suckers up here. But all I got to do is turn this like so. And yeah, so Lord help me. Good morning, everyone. It is day 3 here at the plant. We have a crane on schedule today for 1 o'clock, so we're going to be working up high. Don't know how much filming I'll get to do, but I'll bring you along when I can. As you've already seen, we've got the belts pulled out. We've got all the downspouting to drop, and I'm hoping to suck these 2 legs out right here first, and then I want to go after that one. And these will have to be last because they are our bin access. They get us up on top there. So, gonna be a long day, probably a lot of hot wrenching, stuff like that. We've already prayed for safety, and away we go. A little bit of a change in plans. We cannot get this leg out right here without getting this bin down, so we're having to hustle and do that. We already did a lot of the prep work yesterday. We had about 3/4 of it cut free. This entire plant is extremely overbuilt, and whoever did it did a really, really nice job. We kind of have an inside joke saying that this was tightened when men were men because 1/4 inch impact will not take any fasteners loose in this entire plant. Kind of sucks. And there is a Home Depot 90 minutes away, so we really don't want to go buy more rigid tools. And unfortunately, we are stuck with rigid. We've been using them from the get-go, and now we have so many of them, we're just stuck. So it is what it is. Welcome to the suck. Work is progressing. I have the catwalk cut free. We're opening up all these legs, opening that up right there. They really put it in tight at this plant. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So we're just doing a lot of cutting and grinding and grinding and cutting. And we're waiting for the crane to show up. I think it'll be here in a couple of hours. So we'll just keep on trying. Our crane guy has arrived. He said this is a piece of junk, his words. And She's got some hours on her. Kind of a honey of an old thing. I do have a soft spot for old cranes and stuff. I believe it's a Grove or Groves crane. It kind of has that look, but I don't see any marking on it. He's replaced both engines, as you can see. Here's the operator's platform. She's well ventilated. Super nice guy. Said he's not going to charge us by the day. He's just going to set a minimum and then come back when we need him to, because he knows we've got quite a bit of work to do here, and we've got to get ready for him. We've got to get this big white Cyclone laid over and everything. So, yep, that's the crane rig we've got. We are in the middle of nowhere, Missouri, so beggars can't be choosers. We'll just get the job done, and she'll work for one more job. I'm gonna set you guys up on time lapse. Should be some pretty cool footage while we drop some downspouts, pick a couple of legs. The phone will probably end up overheating and shutting down, but while it lasts, you guys should get some pretty cool shots. If you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. That really helps out the channel. Good morning, everyone. It is day number 4 here at the plant, and we've got some large pieces removed. Give you a quick tour and get to it. As you can see, we've got the color sorter out already, really opening up the building. Got some holes in the roof, but the owner knows he's got to repair those. Still got the polisher and the ducting going outside. We have 5 more legs to pull. 2 of those are under roof, so no need to be fussing about those, but we've got 2 more here and then 1 large D back in the back. That has to be taken out with the crane, and we're trying our best to do as much prep work as we can. We used the crane yesterday, you guys saw that, and right now we're just gonna do us a general cleanup of our area because, as you can see, looks like a bomb went off in here. I am working up on top of the seed cleaner. Gonna detach these rack and pinion gates and just generally get this thing opened up and ready to pull out of here. And I have myself a little buddy. How we doing, bud? That's the tasty treat. We have the cleaner slid out as far as we want it. We have the forklift in the factory provided lift holes, which is really nice. We're dropping the frame now because it is too tall to go down the road, for one thing, and too tall to go out the door. So it is what it is. We've got 2 more bolts left, and then we will probably use the pickup truck to drag the frame out because our forklift will be effectively a hostage. How are those bolts coming out, Luke? Were those put in when men were men?
Yeah, they were.
That is indicative.
250 pounds. I can't get it to budge.
That is indicative of every bolt we have found in this entire plant. We're wearing our impacts out on these puppies. It's just annoying. No need for it to be that tight. Okay. Luke is bringing the pickup truck in. We're going to pull this frame out with it and roll. Send it! Look, we're plowing too. It's a dual purpose machine. Now we can get the cleaner out with no problem, set it right on the freight truck, and send it home. We are down to the popcorn polisher right here, and all this ducting, and of course the two white clones outside. And we found underneath of the gravity table all of this ultra fluff. If we were to shoot our grinding wheel sparks in there, that would light up like 60. It's almost like insulation, but it's the bees wings and the fine dust particles from the popcorn. That was all underneath the gravity table. And we always like to sweep and clean up and cut all the red heads off of the floor when we're done in an area anyway. So that's what we're working on. And around 3 o'clock, we're gonna move outside and clean all of the surfaces and get the color sorter ready for shipment, for tarping, things of that nature, and just generally clean up and move forward on the project. I am working outside on the white cyclones, and this is my first time ever taking one of these concrete lag bolts out. These things are awesome. Now this concrete pad does look fairly new. I'm not saying this has been in here for 25 years, but it could have been. And I was able to get these puppies out with a first gen rigid 1/2-inch impact. And this impact is wimpy by today's standards, but it took most of them out. Not all of them, still have a couple tight ones, but I'm using my 1/2-inch ratchet and a 5-foot cheater bar, and that's getting those broke loose. And then my impact can take it the rest of the way. But wow, those concrete lags are awesome. I like those. Good morning, everyone. We had a big day yesterday. We are down to these 3 legs, the Crippen popcorn polisher, and then in this room, might have to get my light out, we have a T100 bagging scale, belt conveyor, gravity deck, and then a pair of sewing machines, and all these little small trinkets, but these are just gonna go home in a dry van. Nothing to really remove in here. Probably just a couple redheads, probably won't even film it, I don't know, might time lapse it. The compressor is unwired, but still has to be removed, things of that nature, and we're just chugging right along. Luke is up top, making all kinds of racket, generally driving people insane, but it's what it is, and I've already got the pit all cut open and free, so that's what I'm working on down here. But of course I cannot throw below while he is cutting stuff free above. So that's the morning update. It's gonna get chucking. We are starting to get some sprinkles and some bad weather moving in. Chance of rain for the next few days, so we don't want the equipment getting wet. And I'm putting it under this pavilion where the white fan was in the start of the video, and I found a soft spot. The forklift is not spinning, but it doesn't have enough guts to pull itself out of the hole with this heavy of a machine on. When I tap the brakes, it's already making the back end pop up a little bit. So we'll hook up with the old Dooge and give her a yank, and then we'll be squared away. We are back up high. We cannot get any semis until Monday. Really sucks because we have 2 days, but we still have some work to do, so we're just going to adapt to the situation. We have some rain coming in. It's kind of scattered showers, probably 15-mile-an-hour crosswind, give or take, in gusts. And I am strategically cutting iron free, working on this lower catwalk here. I've got one channel iron to cut on it, and then I will go over and strategically cut on these. A little bit of a change in plans. We were going to go after these blue legs today, but we are going to be up against the wall on time. It's already 3 o'clock, and we normally like to quit at 5, so is what it is. We are going to go after these white cyclones and this green fan, and then that'll probably be the end of the day if I had to guess. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. We are done on the roof. Praise the Lord. We always pray for safety and praise his name. He always looks out for us. Haven't had any accidents yet. I'm ready for steak. It's been a good day. We pushed until about 5:30 today, so feels good to have everything down. Good, beautiful morning, everyone. It is day 6. And we are down to the remnants, which is always a good feeling. Give you a quick tour, and then we've got to get started. As I talked about yesterday, we are done up top. We still have 2 little boots down in the pit. Nothing to write home about there. We already have the starter panels harvested off the wall. There's one over there as well. And now we just have to do a general cleanup because it looks like a bomb went off in here, and just get out the popcorn polisher. The ducting is all that's left. Both clones are down, which is a good feeling. And I think what we're gonna do, if we get everything done inside the building today, is start pre-staging all of the light, small stuff like ducting over by the semi dock, so that when the semi rolls in, we can just load, and get this stuff out of here and get back to Illinois. We are all done removing stuff. Have everything loose. The redheads popped out of the floor. And we prayed for good weather throughout the project, and we got it. I'm going to roll in a screenshot of what's headed our way. Supposed to be possibility for hail. We'll see what happens. Roll the screenshot in now. Getting kind of sporty here, coming down in sheets. And as you saw, it's going to get a little worse before it gets better. We are going to wrap up the plant and head for the hotel and rest all day tomorrow because it's Sunday and that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's coming down kind of wild. It's really getting wicked coming down. Luke noticed it's blowing in on the tools, so we're closing the lids. These boxes are watertight. I got to get my camera equipment, and then we're gonna vamoose to the truck. It's coming in sideways. We threw some ladders over the holes as well. We'll check back in later. We're bumming around in Chillicothe while we're waiting on our laundry to finish up at the laundromat. We're just driving around, bumming around, doing our thing. It says that Chillicothe is the home of sliced bread. Kind of interesting. Very cool sign. Good morning, everyone. It is the 8th day here in Trenton, Missouri, and we are ready to burn out of this town. We've ate at all the spots. Honestly, there's just nothing to write home about. Middle of nowhere, Missouri. I'm not saying Illinois is any better. I hate Illinois, but it is home at least, and we're ready to go. We have our job boxes packed. We have to haul the color sorter home because we are at 13 foot 3 inches up at the top of that X brace there. So we're as tied down as possible. If we cannot get this forklift on the Conestoga wagon, we're going to put the color sorter up front and then back the forklift on over here with the job boxes and really be loaded for diggity dog. Seems like that's always how it works out with us. There's always one final hurdle to get over. This is all that we have to put on the Conestoga. Should be a stupid easy load. Just a fan, the platform, and an incline conveyor. This is a look at the facility. No more grain legs. Those hopper tanks are shot. This is all mangled and tangled scrap iron that was just no good. There's nothing here to bring home for the customer. It's just chopped up and grody. And here is a look inside the facility. Everything is opened up nicely. We swept the floor, swept it into a pile, deleted our red heads because we like to do that for the property owners. Got the bagging room all cleaned out, ready, floor swept, red heads removed where the air compressor was. And that is a wrap. That's the end of it. It was a fun little plant, all things considered. This entire project took us 42 hours to remove all the equipment and get it down on the ground where it was manageable. Didn't really keep track of our loading times because it's just kind of boring to me. I've done it so much. And yesterday we had 2 semis to load and there was just no time to film. I wanted to get loaded and to get out of this one-horse town, so to speak. So everything really went off without a hitch, and we always prayed for safety, and the Lord blessed us with safety. So everything's on the ground. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video right here. If you enjoyed the adventure, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next time.